Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Marialana, and we're going to get into some great conversation today. As always, we aren't afraid to get real with our guests, and today's guest has had his family's life story turned into an Oscar award-winning movie. The Blind Side, please welcome SJ Tuohy. SJ, I'm really excited you're here today with us.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, we've known each other for about 2 years now, but we've never actually had this conversation about your family and The Blind Side.
No, we have not.
So it's really interesting to be here today. And I know that your family is really built this Blind Side franchise, and you must be really used to interviews by now, I'm guessing?
I don't think it's ever something I can get fully used to, but occasionally I have to stand beside my mom or my brother as they give one. So
you don't mind?
Been around it a little bit. No, I don't mind.
That's good. And it was funny because I actually Googled you yesterday because I was so curious, like what would come up if I actually Googled like my friend, and it came up with The Blind Side Kid, Michael Oher's brother. That one was one was funny.
Leigh Ann's son was probably in there.
Yeah, exactly, Leigh Ann's son. And I know you're SJ because your father, Ole Miss legend Sean Jr., but there's also a story I read that you like to be called SJ because of Michael Jordan.
Yeah, everyone assumes that that's Sean Jr. I think that's like the more normal story, so I stick with that now. But when I was younger, I was a big Jordan fan, loved Michael Jordan, and so everyone called him MJ, so I just started calling myself SJ. I think I bothered so many people with it that they just started calling it to me, so I would shut up and mind my own business.
So you gave yourself this own nickname.
Gosh, yeah, looking back, 20-year-old, that sounds weird saying, but I think that was how it happens.
No, it's cool. It's bold, but it's cool. So this whole movie, this whole production has really formed, let's call it what it is, like a celebrity status for you. And tell me what your experience was with the movie, The Blind Side. Was it fame overnight?
I don't know. Fame is a big word. I mean, sure, like a lot of Twitter followers come and stuff like that. But I mean, if I walk around Baltimore or Memphis, I mean, rarely does anyone ever come to me like, "Hey, are you, are you this kid?" So I kind of get the best of both worlds of it. Like if I ever actually, need
to use that.
Yeah. So I guess that's nice. But yeah, I mean, it was overnight. It's funny because there was a book first, two years before there was a movie, and I guess no one, but not some people read books because that was out for like a year or so, and no one really ever
picked up on it.
I mean, people read it, and people would send you messages and stuff, but it was never like, it wasn't like it wasn't like the movie, right? Yeah, it was a completely different world. So
you must have been surprised when the movie took such a storm.
Very much, and when they made that book, they told, my parents I didn't have any say in it. They said, "Don't worry, none of these books ever get made into movies. All these books sell into movie rights, but they'll never actually make a movie. Don't worry." And then 2.5 years later, there was a movie, and they lied to us, but.
And that's why you never say never, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So with this whole journey, where is the coolest or just craziest place it's taken you to where you ever had a moment where you're like, wow, I can't believe this is happening?
Gosh, it's funny, stuff like this past weekend, actually. I was down in Dallas for the Final Four, and I ran into the Robertson family from Duck Dynasty. And so, being from the South, that's something like the Robertsons. And,
huge.
So I really didn't want to bother them because I've seen people just bug people from my family for a picture, and I didn't want to be that guy. I was like, screw it, I got it. So I went up to him and I was like, "Can I get a picture with you by chance?" He's like, "Yeah, what's your name?" I was like, "SJ." And he was like, "You're not SJ Tuohy, are you?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, "I just met your parents a few weeks ago. Man, your story is the coolest story ever.
Oh my God.
I want you to send me this picture. Text me this picture." And I was like,
talking to me?
So it's funny, stuff like that. People actually care. I was talking to his daughter. I was like, "Oh, that Blind Side's my favorite movie." And I was like, "You guys have seen this movie?" So stuff like that. It's weird that people you look up to, people you're starstruck by, actually want to meet you, which is a weird thing.
So even so many years later, it's still very surreal to you, I guess.
Yeah, which you think it would have died down.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon, maybe it'll.
So people do know you, and there are things written about you online, and the Duck Dynasty family knows you, like we said. So what do you think is the biggest misconception about you sometimes?
As far as from people that don't know me, people that's seen the movie or stuff online, everyone just assumes that I'm this tiny, you know, I never grew
You're
up.
still
Like,
7.
like I just stayed in this like infant, like blonde-haired, you know, no teeth phase. So probably that, or like when people look these pictures up online, if you like Google my name per se, I'm sure it's tons of pictures from me when I was like, you know, 10. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, like this little chubby, ugly-looking kid. And I was like, promise I grew up. Like, I'm in college now, but like people don't want to.
Yeah,
don't want to realize that.
They still think of you as this movie character who bosses his big brother around.
Exactly, which is not how it
and talks a lot.
goes anymore.
That's really funny. Well, you know, the people that we have on our show have been good friends of mine, and I know how gossip goes about that type of thing, but we don't like to talk about the gossip. We like to clear up the gossip.
Okay.
So we went out there, took your name to the streets just to see what kind of reaction people would give us.
Sure.
And we got some really interesting questions, and we're going to take a look at that right now.
Hey SJ, if you could be any superhero in the world, who would you be?
I'm going to be.
I mean, I think that if I could be any superhero, I mean, the cheesy answer, but gotta be Superman. Like,
Really?
you want to fly. I mean,
You wanna fly?
You want to fly and save the world and still have your cool day job. So.
Really? I was thinking like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yes. I'm very afraid of spiders, though, so I don't know if I could handle any of that.
That's
Now I
funny.
get nervous shooting that stuff out of my hands.
That's funny, actually. That will bring us to an interesting next question we have.
So I was just wondering, what's a hobby of yours that nobody knows about?
Hobby of mine that no one knows about. I enjoy playing piano a lot. I've been
Really?
yeah. My mom used to make me take lessons when I was like 6 and 7 and 8, and she was like, you know, if you don't play piano, you can't play basketball. It's like part of the deal. And so like when I got older, I was like, all right, I'm quitting piano. It's like, okay, that's fine, you quit piano, but you know, you can't drive either. And then now I'm like, I'm super glad. I mean, I don't take lessons anymore, but I'm glad that I did. It's cool to be able to sit down and play songs that you know.
So you read music?
Yeah, pretty well actually.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, my mom did the same thing. I played violin for 8 years, and that was the only way I could still dance and play basketball. But then I eventually grew out of it as well. But it is cool to like have that knowledge in your.
Love being able to play.
Well, we got another question for you that you probably have gotten asked a lot.
Do you ever get sick of people talking about the blind side?
So, what do you think?
It doesn't bother me. The Blindside story is one that like inspires a lot of people, I think, and helps people. And you know, if that's the case, then that's fine with me. I'm happy to, you know, have people like look at that and have hope or whatever. I mean, I've heard the same questions a lot, but
Yeah.
you know, the good far outweighs the bad, so it's, you know, it doesn't bother me.
And like
that
you
much.
said, you still have this double life where you can still be you.
Oh, right, yeah.
And
for sure.
it's not a problem. People aren't stopping you left and right. But at the same time, you still have this ability to kind of lead with that foot
Right,
if you
yeah.
wanted to.
And it gives you a good platform to say things and help make a difference. So I'm happy to be a part of it, and it doesn't get too old.
Well, I'm sure when you sit down and have these kind of interviews, it doesn't go without a question about your mom, right?
Right.
So we did manage to squeeze one in there. Let's bring that one up.
Is there any truth to the story that your mother spoke to Joe Flacco in an elevator when they were on the West Coast at a game and mentioned to him that he had to get rid of the ball quicker, that Michael couldn't keep people out all day?
There's a lot of truth to it. It's 100% true. She told him coming out of an elevator. It was Mike's rookie year. He started his first game at left tackle.
Oh, wow.
And they played somebody and they won the game. And I think it was their second game in San Diego. And she, on the elevator, they were on it, and Mike wasn't in there. It was at the team hotel. And she said, Joe, you've held the ball too long, and I'm tired of it, and you're going to get hit if you don't throw it quicker. And he's like, Mrs. Tuohy? And she's like, very nice to meet you. And like, the elevator opens. Something more along the lines of that. You know, she was nice to him, and basically just told him he needed to get rid of the ball a little quicker. He had a tendency to hold it. And he does, which is the reason he's a good quarterback. And he told Mike in the locker room after they beat San Diego. Ray Lewis made a big hit at the end of the game. And he told Mike in the locker room after the game, man, your mom was grilling me last night in the elevator. Like, she came to me and told me I held the ball too long and all this stuff. And so Mike, so embarrassed, you know, he's his first year in the NFL. And so Mike, after the game, went and told, this isn't college. Like, you can't talk to my teammates like that. Like, these guys are getting paid to play. Like,
Why not?
You know, in a few years, he's going to be like the highest paid player in the team. So Leigh Ann went up to him after the, Mike left it over and called Joe before he was going to bust and says, "You tattletale."
No, she didn't.
Oh, yeah, you told me. So sadly, that is a true story. I wish it weren't, but she did yell at Joe Flacco because he held the ball too long.
Wow, she really is quite this character.
yeah, the question most people ask is she like she is in the movie? And I say, oh no, she's much sweeter in the movie than she is in real life. So it's
God,
fine.
now you're the tattletale.
No, hopefully she doesn't see this. That's okay.
Well, what's she like to you? She still have that tough skin on her?
I don't get the lean in a lot of people. I mean, to me, she's just mom. So, like, you know, I always forget, like, certain people ask me questions about The Blind Side, and, like, to me, that's questions about my childhood. Like, people ask about the wreck and stuff, and so it's like, that's stuff that actually happened. So, you know, I just think of her, like, in my head as, like, oh, that was my mom that did that. I don't think of, like, you know.
Well, she comes to a lot of the games.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, she took me to all my AU games as a kid. She came to all the high school games, or ones I let her come to. She came to those games. So she's just normal. I mean,
and she'll be able to see more of Michael's games now, I'm guessing?
Closer to home. Of course, you know, I came here so she could see them both.
Right.
So now we'll have to
so now she's going 2 ways
work
again.
It out, yeah.
Well, obviously, that story of The Blind Side and your entire family's life has this huge message of hope. And like you said, it does benefit the better than the worse of it. And for our combo of the week on the show, I found a really, really wonderful story about a message of hope with Adrian Payne, the college basketball player from Michigan State, and his wonderful new friend, the cancer patient named Lacey, that he met during the community service trip. You might be familiar with the story.
Bit.
And they have this really special relationship, and it's become another story of hope in its own. Let's check it out.
A remarkable relationship we want to share with you. A college basketball star and a little girl. He is leading his team into March Madness tonight into the Sweet 16. She is battling a rare and advanced form of cancer, and through it all, they are best friends.
On the court, he is as talented and as fierce a player as any in the madness of March, in the heart of the Michigan State Spartans. While off the court, Adrian Payne is almost 7 feet of gentle giant, sprung from a storybook.
He's just a really nice brother, and I like it when he picks me up. It just makes me feel happy and safe.
8-year-old Lacey Hallsworth has another name for him, though.
Superman. Because he flies high, he dunks, and he busts down walls. And he's my Superman.
And to Payne, she is Princess Lacey.
I love her, and you know, I wouldn't want anything to happen to her. She's always going to be a part of my life.
Their unlikely friendship began 2 years ago when Lacey was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, a form of childhood cancer that attacks the nervous system. Payne and his team visited her in the hospital.
Adrian playing with her and stuff was the first time she really, truly smiled, and I think felt a little bit of joy.
She is certainly his biggest little fan.
So from one story of hope to another, as an athlete and as someone who's come from a similar story where it really inspires people from this league of sports, I mean, how can you not be inspired by that?
That's an unbelievable story that Adrian Payne. I mean, that's awesome.
And I really think that stories like yours and stories like that are stemming more and more from the sports world, and it shows this less rugged image of like the sports world, like that these guys are real people and such things like that. And stories of hope continue to ignite the sports world. And I love sharing them with our guests, and I really appreciate you sharing your story because I know you've told it like 1,000 different times, but I'm sure not everybody always asks from your perspective. Sure. Because like you said, you were only 7 when this all happened. So thanks for being here, SJ.
Glad I was invited.
You can come back whenever you want. I really appreciate it, and clearly your family's message of hope has continued to spur more messages of hope. And to learn more about the Adrian Payne and Lacey story, and for our spotlight on SJ, visit my blog, marialana.wordpress.org, or if you want to check out my music, marialanaofficial.com. I'm on all social media, Twitter, Facebook. Thanks for being here, SJ.
Glad you took the time out to have me.
Of course. So everyone stay inspired, keep it real. Muchas gracias. See you next time.